You stole your teacher's wallet in the 5th grade and sold it? He had his identity and credit stolen. That ruined his life. You could have just returned it? A small, nervous man on the bar stool next to me looked like a stir-crazy rat trapped in a cage for too long, talking just to keep his mind off something terrible. He had other gems before that. He pointed at 2 men next to the pinball and said they were brothers and they murdered a neighbor's dog and planted it on a girl they didn't like. He pointed to the guy picking songs on the jutebox and said that he was wanted for murder in his home country, and that the always sunny bartender was actually always thinking shit on everyone, in his words. But nobody knew about Mr. Nucharan's wallet, except for perhaps the people I sold it to, if they were still alive. I suddenly became interested in the guy's rambling conversation. I asked him how he knew these things. The man did something I didn't expect. He took off his glasses, and handed them to me. See for yourself if you don't believe me, the man dared. A grown man dared me. I'm not putting on your greasy glasses. I think you should. I think you should. The wind blew open the frayed latch on the door. Most of us who came here often enough saw the door open enough not to panic. But the man in the glasses did panic, and he didn't have the acting skills to hide it. Fair enough, your loss, he exhaled quickly, pushing himself away from the bar. I'm going to the toilet. The man ran to the bathroom. I initially guessed he really had to go. I then felt a cold breeze pass behind me even though the door and windows were shut. The abandoned glasses were angled on the bar in a way so that I could see something dark pass through the lenses of the glasses, like human legs walking past, visible only when they happened to align. They were walking towards the men's bathroom. The nervous, ratty man had stayed hidden for half an hour. During that time, I stared at his glasses and the pair of cheap silver-framed glasses peered back at me. The glass seemed clear on the previous owner's eyes, but now it revealed a cold blue world. Stranger yet, they had an optical illusion. The level of one's drink seemed lower than what it really was when looking through the glasses. You know what happened to the guy sitting beside you? You're the last one he talked to. The bartender eventually asked me. He went off to the head. Did he not come back? The bartender went to the men's bathroom door and called inside. No one in there. He must have taken off. The bartender scooped the change from his last drink into the tip jar. Those yours? She asked, pointing to the glasses. I couldn't believe my tongue as it said yes. It wasn't me speaking, it was the lizard burrowed in my brain that spoke for me. Because deep down, it knew I didn't have the courage to take what I really wanted. Huh. Never seen you wear them before. I wear contacts normally, not day. The glasses were slid to me. Not wanting to break character, I put them on. The world was uniformly lit in deep blue, a blue that seemed deeply chilling to me. It showed the world as it was, but with certain elements that burned a ghostly outline of blue, illuminating things that were not normally noticed, like the hidden door behind the serving room wall that led to a hidden storehouse and a sealed trap door. One thought came to my mind as I looked through them: they see secrets. Someone walked back into the bar. I prayed it was not the mouthy man returning for his property. I let them slip down my nose and glanced at the lumbering bearded man clad in denim that entered. He gave a small nod and a smile as he walked past me to take a stool next to the trap door. Howdy, Bill. The bartender greeted. What ya drinkin'? Crown Royal. And I pushed up my glasses to see a ghostly outline of Bill, separate and distinct, emanate from him like a double image. The bartender had one too. Both ghostly vintages' voices drowned out what they were actually saying. Bill's spirit snarled at me so loudly my shoulders jumped enough to draw both their attention. Who's that at the end over there? The double Bill growled. I don't know him. Probably tracking me. I got my eye on you, buddy. I know who paid you. I've killed 11 men in this state alone. Better watch your back. I took off the glasses and it disappeared. Getting her first try this fall, so, that'll be nice, real Bill mused. The bartender mused back. I remember when Jolie was, I put the glasses back on. Into this goddamn place every other day for 4 years and you have left a total of $30 in tips, cheap bastard, hope you're, I pushed the glasses down. Does so well. She does. I started wearing the glasses permanently as soon as I left the bar. Colo Park was first stop of the walk. The ghosts of everyone spoke their most desperate, deepest words to me or what I imagine to be the single thought on their mind the most. A woman on the park bench reading on her phone, silent to the world, but to me had a copy of her look up to me and say I poisoned 15 different cats out anger. A technician riding shotgun in a home security van looked with a daydreaming stare into the park when he was stopped at a red light. The other side of him was singing, me and the boys gonna get free TVs, no PS3s, all them ATVs, and they paid us to do it, they paid us to do it. The man's spirit was musical, the technician was wasting his talents robbing homes that were secured. The man pushing a stroller and walking a dog ghostly side said to me, my wife and I sold our firstborn to a couple overseas for $50,000, as long as we saw our child, but we lost all contact after the exchange. The glasses had shown me enough in Colo. I returned home to start dinner for the family. My wife came home first. Her ghost spoke before I saw my wife. I can't believe he's been drinking again before coming home, her ghost said bitterly. I took off the glasses. My wife greeted me with a cheery smile. I was reserved as I cooked and served. My son ate my dinner and said he loved it, but when I was out of sight I slipped the glasses on and could hear my son's other side yell, what is this crap? Let's go out. Let's live life. But no, you make us eat your garbage. I took off the glasses and came back to the kitchen. Dinner was really good tonight, thanks Dad. Dad. Are you crying? Are you okay? 2 hours later, I was in bed with my wife. I slipped the glasses on in the dark. Her ghost cuddled on my chest and whispered coldly in my ear. I've slept with every guy at the office, sometimes multiple times, sometimes even during work. I've always wanted to do it, but I just needed a dopey enough anchor. You're perfect. The next morning at work was meeting day at work, where we talked to upper management and international clients both in person and over the teleconference lines. What was usually a 4-hour near-silent doodle fest was cacophonous crash of a dozen other sides of people. It seems that a person's other half will reach out to your, even through the phone, if you are wearing the glasses. The people they have robbed, lied to and cheated to grow their companies and personal wealth, the people they have power over, the savage games they play when no one is looking, and their ultimate visions of control and dominance. My bosses were the worst, their crimes as deliberate and horrifying as their greed. Worst of all, I was working diligently to help these monsters become even more powerful for years. I became so infuriated during the call while wearing the glasses that I stood and walked out of the office. I never returned. I did not even return home, only to the bank, only to withdraw enough to purchase a small plot of land from a shady guy that I used to drink with at the bar, a gun and cleaning kit, and 1,000 rounds of ammunition. That was my real last contact with humanity. The land already had bare bones cabin, and I chiseled out a hard life far from water and power for a few brutal months while I hid from my family, the authorities, and the world. But the glasses told me where to drill and pump for water, what to eat, and if the snakes were coming close. I started to only go to town to steal new reading materials on munitions and makeshift parts for explosive devices, or at least the ones I could find and afford. Sometimes I would return to Colo Park to get new fuel for the fire, and to hear their terrible inner ghosts tell me their darkest secrets. I couldn't go to much anywhere else in town due to my appearance. Money was scarce after quitting society. But I didn't need it. I had the glasses and a path now. I was going to create a means to destroy the worst of these people. In other hands, the glasses were the world's best blackmailing tool. Perfect interrogations could be done without a touch or sound. If someone like you had them, I am sure you could find a lucrative use for them. but for me, weeding out the worst was the only path I could see through the glasses. In 8 months since stealing them, I had gone from a respectable member of society to a madman that lived alone in a self-built shack that was surrounded by filth, miserable explosive failures and half-baked creations. Around that time, the first knock came upon my door. I peered out the largest gap in the wall to see no one. I was sure I heard the loud, confident knock, and looked out again. No one. The knock came again, shaking my door as I looked outside, seeing no one again. I put on the glasses. A man had appeared at the door. A tall old man dressed in a shiny black waistcoat and slacks, standing regally with a cane in his right hand and what looked like a small crate or case in his left. He was the first human not to have a secondary cloned ghost of themselves. I did not answer the door until the man outside said, "You have my glasses." This man didn't seem normal at all. My cabin looked abandoned and was surrounded by a mile of thick brush. People in spotless suits and dress shoes would not spotless when they arrive here. I began to think he was an illusion. After what seemed like an hour of deliberation, I opened the door. "I need the glasses," I said without waiting. "I'm using them to clear out the worst of us. That's why I'm here, I'm building, I need." The man that claimed to be the owner of the glasses raised the object in his left hand. It had to open for me to see that it was a photo album. This gnarled fingers held the pages open, revealing photos separated into 9 black and white photos arranged as a square on each side of the page. Each photo showed a different person actively walking and moving their arms as if they couldn't see. A finger tapped on single one. "Do you remember this man?" The finger tapped on a man I vaguely remembered until his erratic movements on the Polaroid reminded me of a scared rat. It was the loudmouth at the bar, the original owner of the glasses. I nodded. He successfully stole from my collection, located in a very well-fortified place. I can forgive, even admire, that crime. But to casually discard such an item to a stranger just because one fears rightful judgment, to risk such a catastrophic gamble to human order, even in the full face of awareness of your actions that requires a place within, the book. A place of no light, of no solid matter, no sound, not even your own. A place where the captured wander in darkness until the photo is destroyed. You will not be judged so. I understand human greed. But it is a fitting end for a man with such knowledge. The man snapped the book shut and lowered it again. I was the one that followed the thief. Once I found who possessed it, meeting you became dangerous. No one else must know of our conversation, or of me. I tried very hard to form a coherent argument against what I seen, but that's nearly impossible if you don't believe your eyes. All I asked was, "How?" The man's tight, thin lips flickered a skeleton of a smile. "By the power of cursed objects." I hate that word, cursed. They are only cursed in the wrong hands. In my hands, they can trap my enemies and take me directly to where I need to be. In the wrong hands, their influence overpowers the owner, feeding them slivers of the truths the object wants to yield to the owner. The object uses the owner as a puppet for their amusement, leading the owners to ultimate destruction and demise. "Who are you? What's your name?" The words came out as an unintended muttered whisper. "I am Galen Gaines, collector of cursed objects. And I just want my property back." "Cursed?" "I don't have anything cursed," I said blankly as Galen gazed over my patchy beard, ragged shirt, and plastic bag shoes to the messy pile of filth and dangerous chemicals I lived and slept in behind me.